Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee with Casey, and this is the spring of 2023. The real estate spring starts on February the 15th. That's when we try and get our houses up, get them on the market. There's low inventory, there's heavy buyer demand. This is what we call prime time. So, the thing that really guides it is how much inventory is out there. That's a very big deal for sellers. So we had a house, we launched it this weekend, $950,000, in a neighborhood where the average home sells in 80 days, right? So it takes 80 days to sell these houses in this one neighborhood. We had 100 visitors. We had 67 agent showings. We had 17 contracts. We were so far, we got the final price is somewhere in the land of the May 2022, where we were getting 150,000 over list price. So it was in 2022 land. There are no contingencies. There's none. There's a $100,000 deposit. It's non-refundable. So that's locked in. So, when I see 20 or 30% of the homes withdrawing unsold, we have to ask ourselves what's going on. And so today we're going to look at that. We are going to look at the market update, try and get ourselves squared away as where we are right now. We know there's very little inventory. We know that when homes are priced right, not all homes are selling. Okay, so we're going to figure out why. I'm going to show you the 2023 game changer. Now, the last time I had a game changer was in 2020, and we brought out a thing called a predictive analysis. And a predictive analysis is where you test it for do all your marketing in the coming soon period. Then you run a statistical analysis of whether we have enough buyers to launch the house. Probably about 50% of the time it tells us we don't. We need to push back down. But every time we push back down, we got way above list price. So the predictive analysis took us from 2 showings to 22 showings, took us from maybe a contract to multiple contracts and 150,000 over list price. So the predictive analysis was in fact a game changer, powerful game changer. This is as powerful. So what we've done is we've taken a snapshot of the entire market, your market, wherever you live. We have certain markets that we live in and work in, Vienna and Oakton and Oak Hill and Centerville and Willowsford and Dominion Valley. So, we have specific places where we have top producing agents that just focus on those markets. So we do market snapshots for all of those. And we're going to go over that today. Okay. So let me take you online. Okay. So let's first of all talk about the market update. Where are we? Now, the way I gauge market is how many people, sorry, the things don't show up sometimes. So I'm going to have to redo this. Okay. This is so you can see these numbers. All right. So you see last year, the homes under contract. So if there are 10 homes on the market, in Vienna, 7.2%, 7.2 of them are under contract. 72% are under contract. So this tells me how many active homes there are. Last year, these numbers were in the high 70s, all of them. Some were in the 80s, some were in 100%, right? So here's where they are this year. We're at 64 at Arlington. McLean is always low, but Vienna, Reston, they're up in the 70s. These guys are in the 60s now. When you have 60% of the homes under contract, you are in a seller's market. We are clearly in a seller's market in almost every market we have. I think people overprice homes in McLean, some in Aldi. But in general, we are definitely in a seller's market. As long as we do it right, as long as we prepare the home correctly, and I definitely want to talk about that today. This is a huge deal. And I'm going to show you how we went from 950 to, almost $1.1 million. I'll show you, okay? So look at your market. You can see where you are. We're in a seller's market. There's very little inventory out. We're encouraging sellers to get their homes on early because we don't want to be out there with a lot of competition. Once the sellers realize, hey, I'm still 25 to 30% over where I was in 2022, and now is a good time to sell, they're bringing their homes on the market. So I see them coming out late March, April. As soon as the flowers start to shine, that's when the sellers start to bring their homes out. That is, in my opinion, not the time to bring it out. We want to bring it out as early as we can, okay? Forget the flowers, focus on the inventory. All right, so let's take a look at that one sign that you saw. You see the end of new homes, right? So 72% of the resales are under contract, 35% of the new homes are under contract, right? Which, if you look at this, if you're looking over $1.5 million in Vienna, you have 8 homes active as resales. You have 49 available in new homes. So what does that tell you? Well, there's a lot of inventory in new homes, a lot of inventory in new homes. So maybe you might want to swing to looking at a new home, or at least compare some of the new homes. So that brings me to, let's analyze the markets. Let's take a look at the markets. This is the 2023 game changer, where you can look at an entire market, right? Now I'm going to, at risk, I'm going to try and get this thing up where you guys can where you guys can get up and see it. I really can't get this thing up here. It really stinks. All right, so let's take a look at it as is. Now, you can go to CaseySamson.com. You can hit Market Snapshot, and you can find the markets we cover. Now, I'm going to update them tomorrow. So I'm updating them for the weekend. I update them by Friday afternoon. You'll be able to see all the newest stuff, what's active, what's under contract, what's sold, so let's take a look at this. This is new homes, okay? So in this, I'm looking at homes that are between 4,000 and 5,000 square feet. That's wrong. It's 4,000 to 5,000 square feet. You'll see here's the square footage of each one of these new homes. Here are the builders right here. This tells us whether the home is completed or not completed, right? So when you're looking at this, you'll all have access to this every day. You can see what's closed, right? What the adjusted price per square foot was of those homes when they sold. And based on this, we can come up with a customary value for each home. Okay, so you look at it and say it's listed for 1.944. What's it really worth? 2.121. Now, I'm going to talk about these adjustments here in a minute. Okay, but this is the customary. If you take these sales and you have dead center middle, you are $479 a square foot. Now, some lots may be premium, and we're going to talk about how they go up and down, why some sell for more, some sell for less, okay? Because we have lot premium, we have upgrades, we have, the quality of the build, but most of it is the lot, the location, the school, the size, the terrain of the lot. So a lot of this has to do with lots, right? But at least you know that this house is really $247,000 under where it should be. And why is that? Is the lot on Jonas not a good lot? I mean, you can look at it, you can analyze it. So this is basically the middle of the teeter-totter. This is what the average, this is what it would sell for. It was average lot, average upgrades, average everything. So here you can see whether a home is sold for less than it should have or more than it should have. Some get more, some get less. Now, when you look at the resales, right? So these are homes between 1.25, 1.75 in Vienna. Here's the solds. And by the way, I have this same thing for all the markets we cover. One seller sold $86,000 less than he should have. That's where they should have been. This is what they got. This one right under it should have sold for this, sold for that. Why is that? Well, we're going to go over that today on why the difference is that, and again, I know that some of you are listening to this on a podcast, so let me explain what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a market snapshot that gives us the list price, what the house is supposed to be worth, and then what it actually sold for. And then on the far right of the market snapshot, I'll show, did it sell for more or less? So the first example is it sold for $86,000 more than it should have. I'm sorry, let me go back. First one on this example, $86,000 less than it should have. So the seller did not get what they should have got for that house. The next home is the exact opposite. The home got $99,000 more than they should have gotten. than the customary value. Now that could be upgrades. It could be condition. It could be the way the seller prepared the house. And I'm going to show that in a minute. This is very important. This is really important, right? This tells you, are these homes overpriced? And if they are overpriced, 169,000, it's supposed to only go for this. Then what kind of upgrades are in that house? I mean, there must be some serious upgrades in these houses, right? Condition. So we're trying to be the group that sells for more than list price or more than customary value, not the ones that are selling for less than customary value. So that all has to do, this is Willisford, so the same thing in Willisford. This is where we have Ferris-Eways out there. And in here, this seller got $60,000 less than they should have. They should have got at least 1.75. They only got 1.7. So they lost $60,000 less. Now, why is that? Was it improperly prepared, improperly marketed? Did they not price it correctly? Did they miss the market? You can see some of them are 35,000 over. Some of them are 42,000 under. One is 64,000 over. So let's just look at these two houses. Let's look at the one on Brittingham and White Yarrow. There's $125,000 difference between doing it right and doing it wrong. So this whole Coffee with Casey is about how to make sure you're the one getting the premium, not the one getting the discount. So when I say there's $100,000 at stake with every listing, I'm extremely conservative. Sometimes it's $200,000 on every listing, right? So if you want to understand how this whole thing works and how the pricing works, it's like a teeter-totter, right? So the customary value is dead center in the middle. That is exactly what the home should sell for. It is accurate to 0.5%. It is extremely accurate. It is just a math equation. So what the customary value is extremely simple to come up with. Some homes sell for more, some homes sell for less. What are the upward pressures that push a price up, right? Well, if you have upgrades, if you have great condition, if have a nice lot, if you've done the correct pricing strategy. In other words, if you've done everything right, then we're going up to the top 10%. We're going up there, right? We're going to push that price up. But if you have downward pressures like no upgrades, dated condition, poor lot, and overpriced. Now, why is it that this happens on the left? Well, I will tell you, it's a business. Real estate agents get a listing opportunity. They don't get a lot of listing opportunities, some of them, and they'll say, I can get you a higher price. You don't have to do anything. They'll look the other way that your home is dated. They don't want to hurt your feelings. They don't want to make you spend any money. They just say, let's just put it on. Because their homes don't sell, it's cheap pictures, not very good marketing, and you have that downward spiral. So this is what we're trying to avoid. Now, understand this. 40% of the homes in the market are going to withdraw unsold. 40% don't even make it to this teeter-totter. They don't sell because of all of these things, and they overpriced it. They just don't sell. And of the ones that do sell, that 60% that sells, probably only a third of them get the higher price and the rest get the lower price. So just understand this, that you have about a 15% chance of being up here. When you list a house, you have a 15% chance of achieving that number up here, right? All ours get this number. This is where we live. We live in this area right here, and I'm going to show you why. And we're talking about upgrades and condition and lot, and there's nothing we can do about a lot except reflect that in the pricing. Okay. All right. So let's go to this. This is a $950,000 house. That's what it looks like when we start. Remember what I say, condition is everything, right? So this is what it looks like when it goes on the market. So that got 100, and I don't even want to talk about, well, screw it. Got 135,000, 145,000 higher than list price. Had 17 contracts, right? It had 100 people come through the open house. Why? Because these pictures show a clean, very nice, very updated, very transitional look. It's a transitional rug, transitional pillows. The windows have all been cleared. You can see that there's a golf course in the backyard. So this is the kind of picture we need, not that, right? So this, you can't even see what's back there. You have screens on the windows, wreaths on the windows, a bunch of chairs out, doggy beds, older carpets. So all of this needs to be removed. The mantle needs to be cleared off so we can see it. So we end up looking like this. That's the picture that hits the press. Now, some realtors will walk in and go, oh, this looks great. That's a $950,000 house. This is one that'll attract 15, 17 contracts. Now, I'm not just saying that, okay, it happens once. No, it doesn't. It happens every day for us, okay? Let me show you what Billy's done. This is a bathroom that's in a $2 million home, okay? These are the builder grade, it's all builder grade stuff, you know, very dated. People want nice bathrooms, right? So this is what Billy did to it. He comes in, he redoes the vanity, that's quartz countertops. He just painted this, put in new hardware, new lighting fixtures, new this. Now, you see this right here, that's gold. There's nothing we can do about that. Gold is old. Gold is a dated look, unless you put brushed gold in there. And if you start accenting a bathroom with brushed gold, now this actually fits in. It goes from being a negative to a positive. So when we're talking about fixing up a house, right? This is kind of the stuff that we're talking about. Let me get out of here and let's talk for a second. If I can figure out how to get the heck out of here. I hate this thing. Now I can't even find my damn number. All right, maybe we won't, guys. Maybe I'll just get stuck here. All right, whatever. I'm gonna talk without it. So here's the key. When we're coming in and we're preparing a house, okay? We go as far as you're going to have to move. The first thing is declutter that we have to do, right? You got to declutter a house. And here's where I think sellers and realtors need to come to the understanding that you need to spend some money, invest some money in preparing your home for sale. Let me tell you one of the best investments of all time. We went into a home, you know, a lot of stuff, just a lot of stuff in that house, right? So the first thing we do is we call up All-Star Movers and say, send 3 guys over here. We tag everything that needs to get stored. They fill an entire truck of stuff. Now, most people will sell the house with that whole truck of stuff in the house, right? So if the number one goal of selling your home is to first declutter, sometimes we just bring in the moving trucks and get what we need to get out of the house, right? It's usually not that extreme. In this case, it was, and that's what we had to do. So you look at what is holding you back, what is going to turn off the buyers. Well, if they come in and see a monster load of clutter, then we need to call All-Star Movers. We need to pack it up. We need to store it and get it out of the house. Why? Because even if it costs us a couple $1,000s to do that, it's increasing the value of the home $50,000, $70,000, $80,000. And when somebody comes in and sees a home that's decluttered and fresh paint, and fresh hardware, and new carpet, boom, they throw money at those houses. Throw money at the houses. We probably spent less than $6,000 on that $950,000 house. They got $145,000 over list price. And I'm just going to say that when people walk into the house, if it looks dated, they're not interested. If they're online and they're looking at your house and it looks dated, they're not interested. We had 100 people come to an open house. We had 67 agents show the house. And 90% of those are buyers seeing the house, calling their agents, they want to go see this house. I mean, the pictures were stunning, right? They were just stunning. Because Morgan and Colby did their job, they prepped the house. It was just wonderful. Everybody's happy, everything goes good. When a seller tries to say, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, and I don't want to do this, that's when you don't get the top dollar for your money. So my job is to really push them gently into saying, if we invest $7,000, we're going to make $70,000. So let's think about that kind of investment. Don't think about it as an expense. Think about it as an investment. Never could you go to Las Vegas and say, I'm going to bet $10,000, and if I lose, I get back 40,000, and if I win, I get back 100,000. And that's the bet on preparing the home. So let's drop that. Let me give you another great example. Billy has a house and it's beautiful. It's a 1.995 million. It's got some beautiful Carrera marble on there. Very nice, but it's older and it has some stains on it, right? So Billy calls in the marble polisher and gets the guy to come in, and they polish all the marble in the kitchen. $1 million. It looks like $1 million. Now it costs, $1,000, $1,500, but we're talking about $100,000 or $200,000 difference here in a bad price and a good price. I mean, that's the swing. The swing is 5% up, 5% down, 10% up, 10% down. So if we look at the swing, that house can go anywhere from 1.9 to 1.95 to 2.15. That's a $200,000 swing. So if we need to invest $1,500 here, $4,000 or $5,000 there, $4,000 here, we need to do it. We need to do it because it's worth it. Now, I'm not talking about, I know that some agents will bring in an interior designer and put up shiplap and do all this elaborate stuff. Don't need that. I need clean, we need bright, we need sunshine, we need clear windows. This is not, we do not need stagers, we do not need interior designers. I'm sorry, we just don't need it. We know the current colors, we know how to thin out a house, we need to know how to take some furniture that's crowding a living room and put it in the basement and make that more of a much more functional room. I'm not going to move it, but Billy did. But when you go over and you look at a house on Willow, so let's talk about some of the new houses coming on, and we got some beautiful houses coming on. We have one on Willowsford that's coming on at 1.995. Now it comps out, or its customary value is above that. I'm going to be honest with you, it's above that, right? So why are we coming out under $2 million? Because the buyer pool under 2 million is this big, over 2 million is this big. So what we're trying to do with the pricing of this is, the pricing strategy is get where there's a bigger buyer pool, get more people in the house, get them to bid on the house, right? And then before you know it, you're up way over it. Now, here's another thing. Oh, by the way, the house on Willows Drive, it's got a pool. It's got a beautiful pool. It's a gorgeous house. It's a big house. I mean, it is a big, beautiful home. It's got the front porch. It's got the back porch. It's got the screened-in porch. It's got the nice deck. It's entertainment par excellence. So anybody that's looking for a $2 million house, this is a monster. It's going to be awesome. Now, that strategy worked on a place on Ash Grove Meadow. And Ash Grove Meadow, we went on at 1.995. The seller wanted 2.1, but we put it on at 1.995. We got $2.3 million. Again, big house with a pool. So by moving it down under that $2 million threshold, it actually brought in $300,000 in premium. Now we're getting ready to bring another house on the market in Ash Grove Meadows. It's awesome. I mean, it's going to be, I don't want to commit myself to anything because I haven't seen it done yet, but somewhere at about 1.65 million. It's right there off of Old Courthouse. It is a stunning house as well. But I mean, we've got a lineup of new homes coming on where you have, probably the prettiest house in Virginia, Run, is coming on. We've got a $2.5 million house that's just been launched in the Riding Club. I'm telling you, this most stunning house you're ever going to be in. This is out in Haymarket, right? You got a 2.5 in Haymarket, 2.5 in Willowsford. Gorgeous house. Going to tell you, comps out even higher too, but I think we're comfortable at 2.5. That's getting ready to come on the market. So There's plenty of homes in the 2 million, 2.5, 850, 950, whatever it is. They're all starting to line up. And I will tell you that our homes are all going through the process of getting prepared for sale. That's why our average sale last year took 6 days to sell, and they sold at $141,000 in premium. So, you know, when I talk about watching the market, understanding the market, you know, this market snapshot, this ability to see the market, it's a tool for realtors, for us to use to show sellers that somebody's getting over 100, somebody's getting under 100. We want to be the one over 100. We want to push the teeter-totter up. We want to make the investment to get this thing done. We want to price it correctly so we get the most buyers in, right? So our job, the job of a realtor, and let me tell you something, if you're interviewing realtors, don't listen to the, this is what my company does. Companies don't do anything. I love Samson Properties. They're the #1 realtor in Northern Virginia. I love Donnie, but he does things for us as agents, right? Not for you as sellers, for us as agents. So if somebody comes in and starts talking about Compass or Keller, forget about that. A company's never going to do anything for you. All you want to hear is what's the plan for getting this home up on the upper end of that teeter-totter, getting the maximum amount of money in the shortest period of time. What do I have to do to get it? And if they look at you and go, everything looks fine, let's go and let's price it higher than you think it should be priced, you've got the wrong agent. 40% of the people in the market, they got the wrong agent because their houses don't sell. And then the other ones, you know, half of the homes that sell less, half of them sell for more. So we want to focus on getting that thing up. If they have a pricing strategy and a marketing plan to get it up, if they have a predictive analysis, you got the right agent. If they don't, you got the wrong agent. Give us a call. My name is Casey Samson. I'm at 703-508-2535. If you're looking to text me, just text me your address. I'd be happy to run a market value for you. We only do these market snapshots for our clients and the territories that we basically farm, right? Vienna, Oakton, Oak Hill, Centerville, Willowsford, Dominion Valley. So if you have a property outside of that territory, we'd be happy to run a market view for you. You can text me at Casey. You can text me at 703-508-2535. Email me at casey@caseysamson.com. To see our market updates and the snapshots, go to caseysamson.com, hit Market Snapshot. I'm going to upload them tomorrow afternoon, so try and give me until about 2 o'clock. They'll have everything ready to go. Bye now. See you next week.